Apparently, after the 9-0 defeat to Liverpool, Scott Parker came out and said some controversial comments, which, when you really look into it, the comments weren't really that controversial. All he really said is that the club needed to spend more money in the summer, which is interesting because Parker made similar comments before the first game against Aston Villa. But because they won 2-0, that kind of talk sort of died down and wasn't really an issue. But on the back of this defeat to Liverpool, that kind of talk has come back, and because of that, the board didn't like it and they sacked him. Of course, they did get hammered by Liverpool, so some would argue that he deserved to get sacked on that defeat alone. But when you really look at it, in the first game against Aston Villa, they won 2-0 and they kept a clean sheet. But since that first game, they've conceded 16 goals in 3 games, which is shocking. That defense is in a lot of trouble. If anything, if they were to have spent any money in the summer, it should have been spent on that defense because it really needs some reinforcements. Obviously, January is quite a while away. Of course, we have the World Cup, so that will sort of help to, I suppose, give the club enough time to bring in some players. I think it's about 17 games in the first half of the season. So it's about halfway through the season until they can sort of bring in some reinforcements. But of course, things are probably going to get a lot worse. Now the club doesn't really have a manager. Of course, they're going to bring in an interim, but how well will the interim really do? We'll wait and see. Obviously, you've got the manager's bounce. But I think their first game is tomorrow against Wolves, which is a horrible opponent to get because Wolves are a team that, dominate possession. But of course, I guess Bournemouth aren't really a team that, they're not really a team that really keep possession anyway. They're sort of more of a team that counterattacks. But, and obviously, Wolves, they haven't really scored a lot of goals this season, and it looks like they're really struggling to put the ball in the back of the net. They're creating chances, but, they're not really doing anything with it. So, it'll be interesting to see what happens from here. But, either way, Bournemouth are in massive trouble. And that's about it.